Build it and they will not come. That's what today's training is about. Now, you've probably been hearing, oh my gosh, this is the perfect time to monetize your passion, to take your hobby and get it online and your knowledge and your skills. And while that is true, there's never been a better time. If you want to monetize it, there's 4 important things that you have to do before you build it so that they do come. And that's what we're going to talk about today, to make sure that when you monetize your passion or continue to, you are monetizing, which means making money. Because without these 4 things that we're going to talk about today, one of 2 things will happen. Number 1, you won't make any money. And number 2, you may make some money, but you're not going to be happy. And that's why this process that we're going to share with you today is so important.
Well, that's right. This is a 4-part process to monetize any skill, anything that you love, any hobby. Yeah, all the things you're passionate about. We're going to help you identify which is the ideal one, and we're going to take you through this process. So we've got a really cool thing that goes with it. It's a worksheet, and Sabrina has one here to show you.
Yeah, this is a worksheet that goes right along with the training. And if you want to grab a copy right now, download it. If you have time to print it out so that you can follow along with us as we go.
I am constantly asking myself, are we following this 4-part process? It's called the alignment test. And it's a beautiful word, alignment, because it's not only alignment to what you love and who you are, but it's in alignment with the people you're choosing to serve and how. And that's what we're going to dive into.
Yeah. And what inspired us, and we'll tell you more about this later, is so many of the clients that we've worked with, either privately or in group courses, have spent so much time and so much effort creating a program, putting their knowledge into something, putting their skill into something, and then being almost confused, like, well, how come people aren't buying it? Where are my buyers? And that's because they didn't do the alignment test to build the foundation that you're going to build your passion course onto. All right, so let's dive into that 4-part process to monetize your passion. And we want you to do it along with us. So let's get up and draw for them.
Let's get up. This was something that I could speak to with a client because we had been through it ourselves. So this really sweet young lady, a mom, she had produced a program. She was a yoga teacher, and she had produced this incredible program, DVDs, spent a lot of money on putting it together, and it had to do with yoga and yoga for mommies. And the thing was that she built the product first, and then she tried to go and find the audience or the people who would be interested in buying it. And the way that she positioned the product, it just wasn't connecting. She was focusing so much on the product, so much on the modality of yoga. She didn't align it to who the perfect fit client was, which was, in this case, it was prenatal yoga. It should have been just for the mommies that were going through this experience, and she was trying to sell it more globally. So there were a lot of things that were out of alignment. She was beautiful and amazing, but she didn't have the marketing sensibility in the beginning. And that's what we were missing. We made a lot of modalities and products, but we didn't know this.
And that's why we started out today's training saying, if you build it, they won't come.
Right. Exactly.
Unless you do this first. So we're going to start up here in this quadrant. And this is in your download if you want to follow along. And I'm going to say, this is your passion. This is, what do you love? What do you love to do? What do you love to talk about? What are you a know-it-all about? When you are late at night and you're just messing around on the computer, what are you looking at? What are you reading about? At a party, if someone starts talking about something, what kind of conversation do you try to get in on? Because you're like, oh, I know something about that. So maybe you want to write down a few of those. What would be some of yours, Tristan?
Well, I love surfing, and I love riding my motorcycle, and I love talking about and practicing meditation, and I love a lot of things. I love you.
Yeah. So, what else?
I like Qigong. I like yoga. I like working out. I like marketing.
Okay.
I have a lot of passions.
So there's a lot of passions. And as you go through this exercise, you'll see how to narrow it down. So I'm going to go ahead and move into quadrant 2 because that will help you narrow down what you're thinking in quadrant 1 right now. And we're going to represent that by calling it an A+.
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 High level.
Now for me, this quadrant represents a skill, a process. What are you uniquely qualified to share? What if you love dance, but you're not good at all, right? So that might not be the best thing to monetize. Keep dancing. And I don't mean that to hurt anybody's feelings, but I'm just saying like, okay, jiu-jitsu, suck, right?
Form of martial art and wrestling.
That's not going to be on my
top on your list.
Right. So what are you uniquely qualified to share? What are you certified in? Now, it's better than most people, or not even most people. Sometimes if you're just a little bit ahead of a beginner, because this will come into play later. How would you describe it?
This particular skill, exactly as you said.
This quadrant.
Right, the skill set. You are uniquely qualified, you're skilled, you have a level of proficiency where you could teach what this is and charge people for it. So you have to have a level of competency that you know for sure you can pass on the process or the formula or the way of doing said skill.
So a lot of you in the chat, I know that many of you are certified in some of our programs. So I'll say, for example, you're certified in Good Morning, Good Evening Qigong. So you loved energy arts. You love doing things that keep your own body healthy.
Yep.
You like talking about it. You like being around other people who like that. And now you have a skill. Not only do you have a skill, you already have it packaged inside of a process because you're using our process, our 6-step blueprint, Good Morning, Good Evening Qigong. So that's why, to me, that little plus on the A comes in rather than just like, I'm good at fitness. Can I get a little plus where?
Can I get a plus?
Then
Please.
I'm certified in jazzercise. I'm certified in Satori Qigong. I'm certified in Zumba. I'm a certified ballroom associate level, right? Do you already have a process? Okay, we're going to move on to 3.
This all will come together into perfect alignment as we go. Ooh, the money sign.
Money sign.
That's an interesting sign. That equals moolah.
Moolah. So this is where you have to ask the question like, okay, I love this. I am uniquely qualified. This quadrant is all about, are people willing to pay you to solve the problem that they have? Are people willing to pay you to learn that thing that you do? Right? Because some let's say I love origami, is that what it's called? Folding stuff. And I'm passionate about it. And I'm really good at it.
And doodling too.
Huh?
And doodling.
And doodling. Will people pay me to learn it? I'm not sure, but probably in some way.
There's a word here called positioning that we'll talk about as we unpack this.
Right. So one way to look at it is, are they paying somebody else to learn that?
Right.
If you're wondering, well, I don't know if you can monetize that. Well, we're monetizing our Qigong programs. So if you're a certified instructor, your would be, yes, I love it. I have a unique skill and people are willing to pay for it.
Muy importante.
So sometimes what you're passionate about and what you're skilled at, and then over here, people aren't paying for it because of the particular skill that it is actually going to pop in up here, why it's not working.
Okay, stay with us. This all comes together into a perfect alignment. We will show you.
This is 2 interlocking hearts. And what that stands for are the people. The people.
Can I have the black pen? While you talk,
Yes.
I will add.
Now, the people, we're talking about the people who will pay you. Do you like those people? Do you want to hang out with those people? Tristan always says, do you want to break bread with those people? Right? So you're uniquely qualified. You love it. people are willing to pay for it. Those people are willing to pay for it. Do you want to hang out with those people? So you could say maybe you're passionate about the healing arts. You love the healing arts and you're uniquely qualified, but the way that you packaged was to help seniors. And maybe you're in your 20s, like we have some very young Qigong
I'm
teachers.
in my 20s.
And now they find that they're teaching this,
Biologically.
but everybody in their class is a senior. They might make some money, but they're not going to be happy because that's not the people that they want to hang out with. They want to help people like them to be inspired by the energy arts. And then they would have to backtrack and make sure that this skill, that they're not selling Qigong for senior citizens, that they put it in a process that's Qigong to help students stay focused.
Absolutely.
So it's gonna change the package. Then are people willing to pay for it? Well, we've seen it happen. Then their people will change. So you have to get all of those aligned, and sometimes the answer is going to be no, and you got to go back to here. You're not really going to be able to change what you love, but the way that you wrap it up can change.
Awesome.
Take it away.
I get to riff. Let me riff for a minute. So that's his passion. That's his process. This is problem, and this is the people. So just a couple of extra insights perhaps, or just listening to the way Tristan riffs on it. This is important, right? We all want to do something that we love. Here's some questions that I ask myself. Would I teach this? Would I do this? Would I offer this, even if I didn't get paid to do it? And there's a reason to ask yourself that question. It's because sometimes people are selling stuff that they don't love. And they know that it can probably make money and convert. But when the going gets tough, they throw in the towel because they don't have that core drive.
Yep.
If you're not choosing something that you absolutely love doing, and that would be something that I would absolutely teach for free, and a lot of times we do, I'm not going to have that follow through on the days when, I want to throw something at the computer, right? So following your heart obviously aligns you energetically to doing something that feels true to your soul, something that you feel is a true contribution in this life. It gives you legacy. It gives you legs. So that's how I always look at that. And you might be a multi-passionate like us, and you might find that you're creating a fusion of a few things that you love that starts to show up down here. So we love fitness, and we love meditation, and we love Qigong, and we love psychology, and we love all these different things. We fuse them into a process. For us, it's called a method. It's Satori method. It's this method of awakening health and consciousness and great abundance in your life. So we took all of the things that we love and we fused them into a system or a method. Now, what's great about that is there are lots of different life coaches or Qigong teachers or, wellness coaches out there. What separates us? What separates you from everybody else? And here's why that's important. Not that you're going up against all these other people, because you might be in your local hometown and you're the only one doing it. But when you have a process, that helps the other person's brain say, well, they've got steps. They've got a formula. They've got something replicatable that I could do, rather than, I just do life coaching. Whatever. What does that even mean? But if you can then take your process into, and it links to solving this, now we're talking.
The problem people are willing to pay to have solved.
So you and I, we are in the problem-solving business. You really want to start thinking about that. Doesn't mean that you're not in the delivery of a solution business and the delivery of a great outcome, but we start where people are at. And if you've seen any of our other trainings, we got to meet people where they're fed up, where they're struggling, where they're feeling challenged, where they would like more, right? Nobody goes online looking for something when all the boxes are checked. They're looking to solve the box that's not checked, or the one that's going, it's really bugging them and keeping them up at night. So when you start looking at the problem, you also ask yourself the question, okay, let's say, I'll just say I teach Qigong. All right, I'm super passionate about Qigong, a moving meditation. And here I am, I've got a process for it. Well, if I go out into the marketplace without this, and I'm like, Qigong, 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 I might get a couple people who know what Qigong is, but I'm not letting them know how it's going to help solve a problem. And not until I do that and show that I have a process is anyone going to really listen. not going to get a lot of clients. And I might be offering Qigong in such a way, positioning, that doesn't lend itself to making good money. The more you can add value and solve a problem and take somebody to a desired destination, the more money you'll make. Not only you can charge more, but you'll have more clients, you'll have more people because they'll get it. Your marketing will reference it. Study writing a good hook and a talk about how you solve a problem. Boom, you have someone interested. And the last way I look at this one here, Sabrina said it,
People.
do I like these people? Would I invite them over to my house to break bread? Because if you don't like your clients, if you don't like the people you're working with, or maybe it's just not a good fit. It's not always that you don't like it, but these people don't really have this problem. You want to help these people? Change the problem you solve for them. So this is helpful, right? To start getting your head wrapped around these 4 Ps. If one of them's out of alignment, if one of them's missing, what you're doing won't convert. Sabrina said something earlier that I think is really important. You might get really good at selling something, but you're not in alignment with your source, with your soul, you're not going to be happy. And true success comes with a lot of joy. But let's say you're doing something you love, but you don't know how to position it and how to showcase that you solve a problem with a really unique process, unique mechanism, sometimes it's called. You're not going to convert to sales. No one's going to buy your stuff. And then you're going to be frustrated and sad, and you're not serving people with this incredible skill that you have. And this passion up in that corner, that's kind of your why. That's your story. It's what got you into that lane. And if you start sharing that story and telling people why you do what you do, guess what? That's what they buy into. People buy your why more than your what. They want the what, but they're going to invest with you. Become your own you. I heard this once come out of my own mouth and I liked it. I am the unique mechanism. If you're sitting there going, I don't know what's unique about me, you're unique. The way you share, the way you articulate, the way you deliver, baby, you're the unique mechanism. Now, add a process to that. Not hard to come up with a framework, right? But you're the one.
And oftentimes, if you look at why you are passionate about something or love something, you're going to remember that maybe you had a problem and that thing helped you solve it. And that will help you figure out the problem that you solve and connect to people like you. Because sometimes we like working with people like us, right? So we were talking earlier while we were walking today about our people quadrant. It's not necessarily just related to your program. It's, okay, we want to work with people who know how to have a good time, have a good sense of humor, have probably done a lot of personal development on themselves, are okay talking about money. They love making money and they do good things with their money, and they apply what we show them.
Right.
They actually listen with enthusiasm.
They take action.
They value us and help us move our business in the direction that we want it to go. Because some people might value what you do, but they're not right fit, right? So if I'm teaching adult competitive ballroom, there may be some kids that really value what I do, but they're not going to take me where I want to go. It's just, it's okay. And I could teach them, but the more narrow you can get, not too narrow, but narrow, the better. So back to your story with B, the yoga instructor, if she had was able to really
package that. She's a beautiful
that,
yoga instructor too, by the way. And she figured it out. She got it really dialed in. Sorry, go ahead.
Just to, like, how cool to be able to call out. It's so specific, prenatal yoga. Like that, there are people who are needing that so desperately at a specific time in their life, at a specific time in their pregnancy. And so, boy, that's like a shotgun approach to success. So build it and they will come when all 4 parts are aligned. And there really isn't, it's never like, oh, my idea won't work. It's about molding it and shaping it and starting to figure out, because your thing, your skill, your knowledge, your hobby, your passion, it may solve a lot of problems. Let's dance fitness. What problem could dance fitness solve? It helps people lose weight. It helps people relieve stress. It builds community with people. It makes people forget about their problems, for sure. It makes you more tone. You don't have to go to the gym to do it. It prevents dementia. So could I have a program called Dance Away Dementia? Yes,
Absolutely.
we actually have that.
Yeah.
Dance for weight loss. Yes. Can you call out in a headline, work out at home, skip the gym? Not a gym rat, more of a dance bunny. Come with me.
Let me put this on the screen and then we'll talk to what you're speaking of with this. So as Sabrina was sharing with you just now, she was talking about this process, right? Weight loss, but she was saying, who for? Who is this weight loss process for? That's targeting. We've got to get those two connected right there, right? Then you might have a process that could work for different groups of people, but guess what? They probably have a different type of problem. So I could have a Qigong, in this case, since we've been talking about Qigong today, a 6-step energy blueprint designed for stressed out, busy corporate execs. Now I know who it is, and I know what problem to speak about. Too much going on, too many moving parts, not enough time for yourself, super stressed at the end of the day, need a way to calm down, need a way during the day to kind of re-energize naturally. So my copywriting and my problem solving changes for that person. Does this change? No. So for those of you who have created a course, let me go ahead and make that smaller so it's not in front of your face. So you would change the way you're delivering the messaging. This is messaging. And of course, people who can afford to pay for your service, your process stays the same. It's just different people. Is your passion change? Well, your passion may get affected by the people. Because if you're working with people who aren't appreciating your process or the problem you solve for them, they won't light you up. Yeah. Right?
We were saying last night, if you love to perform and you love to sing and you're on stage and you're singing your heart out and you're performing and you're 100% and you finish the song and crickets, or like you hear one person clapping, you're in front of the wrong audience. It doesn't mean you're not a great singer. It doesn't mean you're not an amazing performer. It means that those people in the audience, they're not valuing the particular way that you sing. So what do you need to adjust in your call out that got them to come and sit in the auditorium to listen to you? What were you saying that got all the wrong people there?
Right.
So sometimes it's how you speak about it. How can you speak about it in a specific way that attracts the people that you want in the seats, those people that will value you and help you take your business where you want it to go?
So in order to know what this problem is, we do have to research and study the people a little bit. And so there's something called an avatar, which is not necessarily a client, might be a client. It's a target group of people that you research them. You ask them questions. You look online to find out where their struggles are, what their purchase habits are. It's called avatar profiling. And so you kind of want to figure that out. Who are my peeps? What are they really struggling with? Then your call outs to them will be much better. But do remember process. Process is super helpful because if you're too global about what you do and you just call yourself like a wellness coach or a life coach, it's a little bit too global. Talk about how you help people solve the problem with your process. And it just so happens that it falls under the banner of coaching or consulting or therapeutic practices, etc. Cool?
Yeah, they say if you say you help everyone, you probably end up helping no one.
True that.
Right? So it's just part of it's just the human mind. I always give this example when I was living in New York and I was doing musical theater, and I was a singer, dancer, actress because of Broadway. All of those were combined. They called it a triple threat. But if I went to an acting audition, like for one of the TV shows, do not tell them that you sing or dance. They put you in a different category. Oh, must not be that good at acting. She has to do all three. So that's the way some people's brains are. So when you say you're everything, they may be less likely to trust you. When you just talk about that one thing that they are interested in, just talk about the thing that they're interested in. Then they're like, oh, she's an expert at that. When they start working with you, they might figure out, oh, yeah, she sings and dances too. Isn't that cool? But that's after they have that trust factor with you.
Now, some of the questions that we presented as we were unpacking this, would I do this even if I didn't get paid? That might be a question I use just to seek alignment, but that's not how I'm going to roll, okay? Because if the money isn't coming in, the business is going under. So I use that question just to help me identify, am I super passionate about this? Same with breaking bread. I may not want to have that person over every single day to my house to break bread, okay? But it's a question that helps me identify and align. Do I enjoy this type of person? I might break bread with them once, but I like them. Does that make sense? So if it's someone that you don't like at all, like why would you even want to like hang out in that? Because if you're like us, you're going to be using social media. You're going to be, building your know, like, and trust. And if they don't like you and you don't like them, it's just not a great fit.
Here's how important this breaking bread thing is to Tristan. When we first started becoming more than friends, our first date was every Tuesday for probably 2 months. Every Tuesday.
More than that.
I don't know if we met at or we drove together to Macaroni Grill, and we were both such like strict healthy eaters.
So Macaroni Grill is like a pasta place,
Yeah,
and they have beer.
And they have fresh rosemary bread loaves hot with olive oil. So we would go there and just get a loaf of bread.
And beer.
In the middle of the afternoon, and we would call it Beer and Bread Tuesday.
Beer and Bread Tuesday.
Because we liked each other. We broke bread together.
We loved it, and I gained a lot of weight during that time. I want to put this up one last time. Can you look in the center and notice how everything comes together in the hands of service? You actually make money doing something you love. You actually love making the monies. Everything comes together into perfect alignment because you've got this 4-part process down. Anytime something's not working for you in your business, it's not converting, I promise you, one of these 4 is off. One of these 4 is off. The most important one out of all of them, in my opinion, is all of them. All of them.
And I see in the comment, it isn't that you necessarily want all of your students and clients to like come over for dinner every night.
Sure.
But it's when you have a conversation with them, it feels energetically nice. It's not that they're saying things that you're like, that's just, that's disgusting. Because everybody has a different point of view and a different way that they see life. And in some ways, not in some ways, in all ways, we tend to attract people to us that view life in a very similar way. Mm-hmm. Almost every client we have tries to make such an effort to be kind, see the best, do good every single day to be a better version of themselves. If all of a sudden a negative Nelly came in going, this is crap and that's crap and screw that, we'd be like, do you need to go through the program or leave, right?
Yep.
That's what we mean. It can't, you don't want to, it's not worth it. It's not worth giving your life to work with people that you're miserable around. So everything is about making every moment of your life as beautiful as you can. That's why don't start a business doing something that you don't love because you're giving your life for it.
It's your life.
Work with people. You're giving your life to these people and they're giving their life to you. Those moments that you share together.
If you do,
this is the alignment test for your business, but also for the quality of the moments of your life.
So good. So great value, yes? Remember listening to a great marketer years ago, Russell Brunson, and he was talking about in his earlier days, he was serving an audience of people through internet marketing that didn't light him up. And he realized, I need a new audience. I need a new tribe. And so his messaging, the problem that he was solving, but the people that he was serving had to change. So he had to start changing his energy around who he wanted to attract. Mm-hmm. And he did a beautiful job of that. And now he's incredibly happy and incredibly successful. So people are doing it. They're making these pivots all the time. You're in an evolutionary? Yes, I would think that's correct. You're evolving. And so this process that we've sculpted out for you today is an evolving process for you. Right? Mm-hmm. Your passions are getting more clear as you go. Oh, you know what? I like that, but I don't think I want that to be in my business. We call that as you grow more, you know more. Right. So that's why we said download this, make some copies, and kind of refer back to it. If you're on a new leg of your business or growing a new business, do it more often. Because as you know more, you grow more. As you know what you don't want, as you know what process you don't enjoy sharing, as you know more who you don't enjoy working with, it'll help you figure out exactly who you want to work with. And you won't know unless you get going. one of the things that we always say is let's test it. Let's find out. Let's get feedback. Let's see if it lights us up.
Yep.
You'll never know unless you start going live, writing blogs, making offers, like doing the things.
Do the thing.
Do the things. Do the 4 Ps.
All the things.
4 Ps and see what happens and notice that beautiful alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't mention, you look absolutely gorgeous today.
Thank
I didn't
you.
have time to notice. I was so busy getting the show ready.
Stop staring.
That's the brand of dress.
the brand
I
of
love
dress.
those dresses. Please buy more Stop Staring dresses. So fortunately, we have our 4 Ps in place. We can afford to buy the dress.
So again, if you want this, satorimethod.com/105. It has the infographic and it has the graph that you can come back to. And we hope you got an awful lot out of this training today. If you're watching the replay on our blog, awesome. Thank you for being on our subscriber list. If you're watching on social media, we'd love for you to like the page, follow the page, do all the things to the page.
Click all the buttons.
And if you're watching on YouTube, if you subscribe, YouTube will let you know when we upload a new video, and we usually upload 2 every single week.
Yeah, we do. Thank you so much, everybody.